If you would have asked me midway through the season, would Billy Napier still be here? I
You'd
would
have
have
said
said
no.
no. I would have
Yep.
said definitely no. And then they win 4 straight. Lagway sort of takes off. And now everything is sort of positive and a lot of great positive vibes looking for this season
Well,
for Fulham.
and here's why it's positive. It's positive because what did Napier do really well, Brent? Like to me, the culture of the team to stick together with all the
Yep.
negativity swirling, it shows you something about this dude. Like he's got something to him that he can get people to buy in even when things around him's going crazy. That's a good coach. Like that's a really good
Yeah.
coach. Napier's scheme is very hard to defend. The way they do the stretch and the way they run the football, it's usually pretty productive. And I thought the line of scrimmages, the fact that like they lose guys that are all over the place last year that are on different rosters because of all the negativity, they still plug and play and had a great line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So I think that's another strength coming into this season. The Florida Gators come down to absolutely one thing, and it's DJ Lagway. Like, how good is he? Because the elite DJ Lagway is as elite as anybody in the country. And I know that sounds strange, but like I'm putting him up there with Levin. I'm putting him up there with Klubnik. I'm putting him up there as high as you want to put him up there. The fastball, the deep ball, the arm is insane. Like it doesn't take a backseat to many people in college football. How much did last year help him gain experience? I trust this, Brent. I trust his heart. I trust his toughness because I saw him pop his hamstring and come back and still continue to fight for his team a couple weeks later. But it's to me it's the development at the quarterback spot, and does he go to that next level where it's not just the deep ball, it's the intermediate passing, it's the check downs, it's the short stuff. Like he's got all the tools. But this offense has to run the ball well, which I think it can, and then he has to develop as a really strong quarterback that knows the answers to the test, that knows how to check it down, that knows how to stay on schedule, on script, and not just the highlight plays down the field.
Efficiency, I think, is probably the word that you're talking about. When you look at the numbers, though, to back up what it is that you just said, 8.8 big time throw percentage. That was number one in the SEC a year ago. That was number one in the Power Four last
Wow.
year, all QBs. So, like in terms
Now
of
tell
the elite
everybody
of
now.
elite
So
throws,
Brent works for PFF, Pro Football Focus, and they obviously do college and pro. What does that mean? What does a big time throw mean?
that's the elite, highest graded throws, plus one or better on the scale, and basically it's the highest graded, best throws that you can be in terms of accuracy down the field. Oftentimes, it's accuracy down the field. It's putting in the bucket, outside shoulder of the receiver when it's tight coverage, that kind of stuff. The best throws that are
Yeah.
out there. He made on a percentage basis. He made them at a higher rate than anybody in college football last year. So the tools are there to be and that was my number
Unbelievable
one
tools.
question. Will he put himself in the best quarterback in college football conversation? Because you have an O line that returns that's very solid. Austin
Center is
Barber, left.
elite. Center is one of
Yep.
the best in the country. Like
Yep. Barber, left
really, really
tackle.
good. And here's somebody said in the comments. Soren's Wrath said in the comments, like, what makes this Gator offense so good? What's the strongest part of this Gators offense? To me, it's the line of scrimmage. To me, their scheme is really, really good. They do a great job of hitting you in the mouth, getting plus yards, stretching you out wide, like being very difficult from a you can't just get in one front and play them. Like they have answers up front. They do a great job of working together. When you run a zone scheme a lot of times too and guys work together, they have to communicate. They have to get on tracks. Like they're very well coached up front. The strongest part to me is their line. Like it's
Yep.
the guys up front that can pave the way. The running back spot is going to be a strength. Like we
Jaden
saw we
Ball.
oh my gosh, Ball looks like he's going to be a wrecking ball. Like he looks like a grown man that can tote the rock. Because last year again another guy ETN goes to Georgia and you're like that dude's really good. I saw him make big time plays in the Florida offense. It didn't matter who that's what shows you how good this offense is, Brent, because they put another guy in and he's good. They put another guy in and he's good. And
Right.
it's the scheme up front, it's the linemen, it's the communication. Those guys are really good.
Second question, defensively, Vinny Cincinnati, which is a name that college football fans should recognize, former Alabama player, won some national championships at Alabama, at sort of a co-DC primary. I don't really know exactly how they're doing it there because there's him and the Roberts guy, but he's there. and you got a lot of depth up front, really good players in Sapp and Banks up front. To me, key players to watch for them defensively are, and it's a question a lot of times we ask with all these teams, is what are you getting from other guys if these other guys can be elite type players that raise the ceiling of your defense? And it's the former 5-stars that aren't necessarily like penciled in starters, but Cormani McClain at corner and LJ McCray at edge. Do these guys, sort of give you what the talent suggests that they possibly could from a production standpoint? Because to me, they're very solid, but you get something from those guys, it raises the ceiling of Florida's defense.
First of all, like I think when you talk about Banks, Brent, I don't think you talk about like a good lineman. I think you talk about a guy that could be the best in the country. Like that, like the upside for me, for him is elite of elite. Like could be a wrecking ball, like could be a one-man wrecking crew that makes plays, that penetrates, that just dominates the line of scrimmage. And that's just, you don't say that about many teams. And you saw it last year with him. And so I think that he's a guy. I'm sure you got some PFF numbers for me for that, right? Like I'm sure you got some kind of like.
He had 29 pressures. He had 4 sacks. Yeah, he very highly graded.
I just feel like he's going to ascend. I feel like he's going to continue to develop. Here's what I'll say about what you just said and those guys you mentioned. Obviously, they're talented. I'm at a point where I trust Napier to develop them too. That's where I'll say. Now, listen, let's get to the real part of this because we got to get to these other teams too. There's also a schedule problem.
Question
there's a schedule problem.
Can they survive the early month stretch at least 2-2? That is my question because it is after.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
South Florida, Long Island at home. Okay, game 1 scrimmage. South Florida at home, not necessarily a scrimmage. You got to play that game. But then it's at LSU, at Miami, home Texas, at A&M. Can you get through that 2-2? Because that is brutal.
And here's the thing: their schedule was brutal last year, and the way they started gave you every reason to think that they would quit and they would fall off a cliff, and they didn't. So, to me, they feel we're going to get to Oklahoma today too. They feel like Oklahoma to me. Like they feel like a team that if they had a different schedule and played in a different league, I'd say they're a playoff team. They're a fringe playoff team. But that's the problem with the SEC. How many times are we going to say this? Like teams that could get hot and make it, like LSU, like Florida, like Oklahoma, like it should. But you just look at that schedule that's pulled up right there, and you go, "Gosh, dang!" Like they can play great football, and win 9 games. Like Billy Napier can be a better coach. They're a way better team, and if they win 9 games, I think they're in the playoff conversation. Like that's how brutal that schedule is.